This is a Quahog resident doing something selfless and sweet.
What? I'll do it. I'll give you my kidneys.
Brian, you'll die.
And this is another Quahog resident doing something that spawned from the deepest depths of frackin' hell.
Oh, excuse me. I believe I was next.
Step aside, lady.
There are hardly any saints in Family Guy, but some at least try, while others are straight up the devil's incarnate. So today, we're going to be going through the deeds of every Quahog resident to see just how evil each one of them is. We'll be ranking each of them on our evil scale from angelic all the way to the devil himself. So, let's begin. This man wants nothing more than to be a gluttonous slob and alcoholic. That's literally his life mission statement. And hey, while drinking, he's casually conducting his own alcoholic algebra.
Lois, I know how many beers I can drink. I figured it out. 7. 6.
Get that man's license completely revoked, shredded, and launched into the ocean like a message in a bottle. Imagine the fear people on the streets would feel crossing the road if they knew it was Peter O'Clock. But drunk driving isn't the only threat. Even his sober driving is basically a natural disaster. Just ask Cleveland.
No, 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 no!
He just drove off? No note, no insurance info, not even a guilty glance? He destroyed his friend's house and went off like it was frackin' nothing. But maybe you're still thinking this is tame. Nothing too serious. But it's always the little things, you know? Peter's selfishness is on a whole different level. Like ocean floor level. He isn't afraid to sink as low as it takes to find oil or to escape work. In Bird Reich, he learns that losing a pet gets you 6 weeks of leave. And Peter's brain immediately downloads an idea he should have deleted.
Wait, hang on, let me get this straight. If your pet dies, you get 6 weeks off?
Yes.
Let's see how long you last with no breaks, Brian.
Brakes out. Fortunately, you can stop a Prius by cupping the wind.
Now, Brian survived that, but guys, if Peter can do that to his own pet, what do you think he'd do to someone else's? That answer comes with viewer discretion. You see, Peter and the guys wanted to pull a prank on Quagmire by shaving his cat, and the knife was handed to Peter, of all people.
Peter, you killed it!
He's got 8 more lives. Okay, 7 more lives. 4.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if that didn't rile you up, check your pulse. Cats or dogs, Peter is an equal opportunity animal menace. But maybe, this man is misunderstood. Yes, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but hear me out. Perhaps he has one atom of goodness in him, like that time he grabbed a forklift from work and decided to do something kind and humane, helping Joe remember what it feels like to walk again.
All right, walking speed. Afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon to you, normal sir.
Aw, isn't that sweet? If he can do something so pure with a forklift, maybe he can do even more good. Maybe he could help a stranded whale get back into the ocean. Yeah, never mind. That is easily one of the most diabolical, wicked, evil, goriest things I've ever seen. No coming back from that. None whatsoever. Not even if he pulled the I pretended to be gay to save my best friend from a drunken marriage because he needed to make out with a man to get a divorce card.
Here, let me stroke your hair.
I want to do gay things for you.
I crave your groin.
I cannot wait to intertwine our bodies.
Enough! Kiss each other!
So my final verdict for Peter Griffin, evil. But the next Quahog resident might just make Peter look like one of the frackin' apostles. Just how terrible could an old man living on the street who also happens to be a war veteran possibly be? Well, not very. Unless the word on the street about said old man is this.
Well, there's a... but it's mainly because he's so funny.
I personally do not think Herbert the pervert is funny, but that's not the point of this video. The real question is, just how much of a creep is he? Where does he rank? Well, let's see. In the episode Crisscross, Chris moves in with him after he can't put up with Meg anymore. But his visit to Herbert is like a deer gleefully strolling into a lion's den and making itself comfortable. Herbert decides to play gracious host.
Well, you had those 3 cups of NyQuil. You'll be down soon enough.
Good night, Mr. Herbert.
Did you hear him right? NyQuil? Now, this is a drug used to treat flu and cold, but it can also be a sedative. Now, imagine having Chris down 3 cups of it. The man was ready to pounce at any fracking minute. But Chris, big, dumb, and blessed by fracking plot armor, was frustrating every bit of Herbert's perverted plans, so much so that Herbert eventually confessed this out of pure frustration.
You really know how to waste a Cialis,
Let me just check it real quick. Aha, yes, Cialis, a drug used to treat erectile dysfunction. In other words, it helps old and impotent men summon enough firepower to dishonorable discharge. So with NyQuil and Cialis in action, yeah, it's clear as day what this sick old man was up to. And it wasn't a one-time thing, oh no. Herbert is a frequent flyer at the pharmacy. He restocks like he's prepping for frackin' Black Friday.
What kind of birdhouse can you build with popsicles, roofies, and a mallet?
None your business.
Who do you think his target audience was, huh? Let's get Captain Obvious into the room. In the episode An App a Day, Chris tried to flirt with the hottest girl in school and sent her a picture of his junk. He got ousted and labeled as a offender, and suddenly everybody treated him like it was COVID-19 all over again, and they needed all the social distancing from him.
Oh my God! Children, run! Everybody into my safety basement! Oh, I'm hurt, kids! Don't eat those popsicles till I get down there!
Look who has the guts to call Chris a pervert while literally leading those kids into a cellar like innocent lambs to the slaughter. This man should be put on a watch list with immediate effect. In fact, he should be the face of the watch list. He should be the example they use when explaining Megan's Law to teenagers, and just so you see how utterly despicably evil this creep is, his movie collection would be of particular interest to the FBI.
Jeffrey at the park? Nephew somersault compilation?
I assume you heard of the alphabet? How Sammy Popsicle comes before napping various?
Well, can we watch Lost Boys?
Those are different Lost Boys.
Totally lost it. Over 69 tapes. Just sick and devilish. Ranking him as a straight up devil. At this rate, it's going to be a long day before we get our hands on an angel. Now I have to say, out of the bunch that Cleveland hangs out with, he might just be the least insane one. Don't mean he's spotless. I mean, he once went to Joe's house and while everyone was, hanging out and making small talk, Cleveland was off in the corner having some quiet artistic me time.
Oh, that's nice. I wonder if this temp is the same on my other foot. Sure is a good day for it. Is the pool too warm for paintbrushes?
Wait a minute. The rest of the gang is out there blowing things up and committing full-time felonies, and the biggest scandal we can pin on Cleveland is messing up a pool? Wow, take my boy straight to angel tier. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Well, there was that time Lois suspected something was stealing her veggies and she needed to deal with it ASAP. Turns out it wasn't just something.
I finally killed that squirrel that's been eating our tomatoes.
I want to make bruschetta.
Still looking like an angel to me. But let's be real, there's no way someone can be close buddies with Peter and not go a little psycho at some point. That would be unnatural. Case in point, in the episode Peter Normal Activity, the guys got together to write a proper horror movie, and where better to get inspiration from than an abandoned asylum.
All right, maybe coming here wasn't such a great idea.
Even my spine is tingling.
You remember that movie, The Blob? What if The Blob? Let's get out of here.
Look at a bunch of adults running away like scared kittens because of just a few flickering bulbs and eerie noises. If you know you can't stand the heat, why'd you step into the kitchen? They're so freaked out of their minds they even decide to attack an innocent man they randomly met. Why? Because how dare you have a hook for a hand? Didn't even give the poor man a chance to speak. And it turns out he was the caretaker of the place. So naturally, to cover their tracks, they buried his body. Well, more than just his body.
Oh, crap, it's still alive!
To Cleveland's credit, the dude has done some genuinely good stuff as well. Like when the Griffins got so broke they couldn't afford Stewie's school fees anymore, Cleveland stepped in and offered Lois a job.
You know, Lois, the post office is hiring.
Wow, that'd be great.
Yeah, as a white woman, you'd be a minority here, unless you're an alcoholic.
I also can't forget the time Peter and Lois were advised by a marriage counselor to separate for a brief while, and Cleveland was more than glad to offer his house to Peter to crash at.
I really appreciate you putting me up, Cleveland.
Our house is your house, but I need to get back upstairs to Loretta, and the getting's good. Ow, ow, ow. When's it gonna be my turn?
Such a kind man, always putting other people's needs first. Unlike someone grateful frackin' people, you know what? To the clouds you go, Cleveland, you're an angel. Let's move on to our next resident of Quahog. This should be pretty easy. While a lot of folks spend their 20s and 30s wandering around trying to figure out what to do with this whole life thing, usually by watching TikTok gurus who look 14, Stewie knew exactly what he came into this world to do, and he went straight for its gullet. I'll sound like a broken record if I start talking about how that genius psychopath has tried countless times to take out his own mother. But let's look at the other small things, like the time he met his soulmate, Penelope, and they both went on a couple of fun dates. You know, the usual bonding activities normal couples do.
Your turn.
I have to destroy Copenhagen with a tidal wave. The theme is the Roaring Twenties. That's a challenge.
and twenting, paddle waving.
So, for a little detour on geography, Copenhagen has a population of about 660,000 people in the municipality and 1.4 million in the urban area. Stewie just casually imitated the days of Noah and wiped out 2 million people as a couple's game night activity. Let's try to dial it down, because those numbers are insane to get around. How about what he did to one single animal? You guys remember New Brian?
Well, Rupert seems to like my humping. Humped him for 2 hours yesterday. He just laid there and took it. And now every time you're sleeping with him, he's gonna be thinking of me.
This bald menace has such bloodlust. Nobody else would hijack a season of festivity and turn it into a full-scale massacre as he did. Examples? Trick-or-treaters. He thought they were monsters.
You undead bastards, time to send you back to hell!
Oh, but that was just Halloween. On Christmas Eve, he wanted to help out Santa when the North Pole seemed incapable of handling this year's Christmas cheer. So along with Brian, he snuck into people's homes to deliver presents. But he should have read the instruction manual on how to go about breaking into homes and get away with it.
I'm putting out the presents. Not like that.
And show some care, for God's sake. Those are Santa gifts, Brian.
So it seems Brian was the jerk here, and Stewie was taking his role quite seriously with all the care it needed. But he could only hold up the act for so long.
Hey, who the hell are you? What are you doing in my house?
We're Santa Claus.
You're Santa Claus. That's why you broke in through the window. I'm calling the cops.
We came down the chimney, but it's kind of a funny story.
You can't call the cops on Santa. Now help me move this guy's body.
So that's the only part of the Santa manual he read. Never report to the cops if there's a fat intruder in your house. If the rest of the family knew better, they would have stayed upstairs. Because the moment they came down, they weren't spared either from discount Santa Stewie and his evil holiday cheer.
Quick, Stewie, get the bat!
Mommy!
It's okay, Brian, see if you can find some duct tape.
Oh my God.
All right, let's get this place cleaned up.
That poor girl will need an insane amount of therapy before she can ever recover from that. Honestly, I don't need any other example to know where this baby belongs. But if that didn't somehow seal the verdict for you, maybe the time Stewie felt neglected by Brian and decided to go behind his back, steal his DNA, and make himself preggers will do it. Take a look at the abominations he pushed out.
I just put Jack and Rose down for their nap, and I'm trying to keep the more attractive one.
And these mini Frankenstein creations did nothing to deserve this, or the fact that Stewie let a few of them die and casually dumped the rest at a shelter and moved on with his life like he had returned a wrong Amazon package. Yeah, he's a devil. But this next resident, he's got demons of his own. You know, other than being a cop with anger issues, Joe is actually a pretty decent guy. As a cop in Quahog, he is shockingly not corrupt. Like, for real, you'd expect Joe to have some dirt on him, but no, he's just not that type of guy. He takes his job seriously. In fact, so seriously that in the episode Jolo, when Peter got celebrated by the city for rescuing a lost kid, Joe felt bad.
I am a man who unintentionally saves kids.
20 years on the force and no one's ever clapped for me.
Great observation.
I mean, I would feel bad too. Imagine risking your life every day, keeping people safe, and then some out-of-shape dude with a turd for a brain gets decorated because of one lucky heroic accident. Joe, unsurprisingly, got depressed and quit.
What are you doing? You can't quit your job.
You and I are done too. I'm leaving you. New Joe!
Instead of seeing a therapist or telling his friends how he felt like a normal human, Joe decided to go ahead and pull off one massive industrial-grade douchebag move.
I'm a cop who can't save anyone. I'm a husband in a legless marriage. As soon as I decided to kill myself, I actually felt free. I can finally kiss this worthless life goodbye.
The whole point of bringing us to Niagara Falls was just to kill yourself?
I just wanted to spend my last week with my best pals.
Why would you want to permanently scar your friends with a trauma package like that? Why would you want that to be their final memory of you? It was just sick. But then again, mental health issues and depression are serious things. The gang decided it was too dangerous to leave Joe all on his own, so they tied him up and kept a really close eye on him.
Get a little breeze in here?
I don't regret it. The breeze is nice.
They all rolled into the river except for Joe. He had to do all he could to save them, and man, did he really do all he could. The Justice League nearly gave him a call. At the end of all that running, wheeling, and crazy stunts, he redeemed himself by saving the gang, so that pulled him back into good standing, I'd say.
Well, yeah. You You know, I spent the whole time trying to kill myself to realize that life really is worth living.
You're a hero, too.
I'm lucky to have you guys in my life.
I might need a couple of seconds to understand how that adds up, but hey, hooray, everybody's alive, and Joe's the big ol' hero. And it's not the only time he did something right. He also stopped Meg from developing an obsessive crush on him. See, the thing with Meg is, she's so attention-deprived that any glance in her direction lasting more than 2 seconds is basically a marriage proposal in her mind. So Joe made the fatal mistake of giving her a car ride to school when no one else would, and Meg immediately started marking her territory.
How are your eggs, Joe?
She just called me Joe, but I'll just let it slide. She's got nothing going on.
They're delicious, Meg.
Joe.
Ah, I should have said something.
It's like we're married!
You walked right into that one, pal. Understanding that Meg was confused, Joe tried talking to her parents, but those airheads didn't take him seriously at all. So in the end, Joe had to find a way to firmly but kindly let Meg down.
I do care for you. I would a niece or a good friend's daughter.
I feel like such an idiot.
Don't. I'm lucky to have you as a neighbor.
Thanks. I'm lucky to have you as a friend, too.
If only Quagmire could take notes, but we'll get around to that later. Joe has managed to keep his chin up in some of the most toughest of situations, like when he wrote a children's book, Hopeful Squirrel, to inspire kids with disabilities.
The squirrel hoped that the other animals would share their food with him. If you could all spare just one nut, I too could survive the winter.
Mommy, I don't like the wheelman.
You shut your mouth, little boy. That was genuinely great work, I'm not gonna lie. Massive respect to anyone who can take their own hardship and turn it into something others can draw motivation from. But the paraplegic cop hasn't always been sunshine and heroism. He's got some dark schemes, too. In the episode The Old World Harm, Peter and Lois needed a vacation spot, and Joe was just the perfect recommendation, down in Florida. And that alone should have been the first red flag. Everything crazy happens in Florida. No shade, guys, but also all the shade. So while Lois and Peter are down there, they realize the whole thing is a front for illegal organ harvesting.
Oh my God! They want to kill us! Let's go! What's happening?
This is called Flintstone legs. All we need is some traction.
Now, it might seem like Joe had no idea what was going on. I thought so too. I mean, why would he willingly send his friends into a trap house? He couldn't possibly...
Damn it!
I'll see if I can get Cleveland to go down there next week.
Hey, bud, how was Florida?
Yeah, he actually knew exactly what he was doing sending them down there. But then look at that pair of legs. Cleveland has definitely not been skipping leg days. All in all, Joe's been a pretty solid dude before this, so in my books, he's just bad sometimes. But I can't say the same for this next guy. Brian, no doubt, started as the voice of reason on the show, but he's turned into one bad dog. In Brian the Closer, Brian and Peter were arguing over some stupid rope, and neither of them wanted to let go.
Nobody has to get hurt, Brian. My teeth! Oh!
Oh, good heavens. What is a dog without a snout, really? How would he smell where he buried a bone? His entire essence gone. Very sad. Quagmire, of all people, even took pity on him.
Don't cry. Be a man.
I'm not crying.
Take this. That's my dentist. He'll bill me. I've got an account.
Just shut up and accept the help. After Quagmire's dentist fixed up Brian's teeth, it pushed him into a new career path. He became a real estate agent.
Do you think this house will hold its value?
It's got a nice porch. And the yard's got plenty of room for little ones.
The magic's in the teeth, fellas. Soon he was raking in real money as a realtor, and with so much going well for him, Brian decided to repay Quagmire's favor to him. And what better way to do so than to sell him a place that was basically Quagmire's fantasy?
Quahog's only luxury residence.
Affluent means rich.
Come live in the kind of place.
The ceiling is a pool. Quagmire, you gotta get this.
Anyway, Quagmire was still skeptical about buying the place, and that's when Brian started pushing his buttons like the canine manipulator that he really is.
I don't know about buying a place without seeing it first.
But as your friend, I wanted to let you know early because there's another buyer who's about to snap it up.
It's not Lou Sheridan, is it?
Do you like Lou Sheridan?
I hate Lou Sheridan.
It's Lou Sheridan. Let me just give him a call and let him know he's gonna get the place.
Wait. Okay, I'll take it.
All right, you won't be sorry.
Well, someone has been reading the 48 Laws of Power. Thank goodness Brian didn't need to get to the firm handshake holding and maintain predatory eye contact phase. So just like that, Quagmire was the new owner of a unit in the luxurious Prescott Towers. There was just one tiny problem.
There's a stain on the rug in the shape of a little kid.
I bought you a mini cactus.
This is a dump!
Now that's bad, but I gotta tell you, it was not the worst betrayal yet. There was plenty more where that came from. So there was a 72-hour period in which Quagmire could back out of the whole deal and get his money back. Brian knew about this and went MIA. When Quagmire finally cornered him, Brian had no choice but to come clean.
I don't know how you sleep at night.
My God, you're right. I'm a jerk. I'm a selfish and pretentious jerk because I am none of the things you are. And that is 72 hours.
You son of a...
Imagine backstabbing someone who came through for you just days earlier. Now, I don't think Quagmire smashing his face in is punishment enough. This dude, Brian, is a walking, breathing jackass, but he goes about thinking himself to be some hero or something, like the time he played your friendly neighborhood superhero and saved the life of a single, ready-to-mingle hot lady.
Somebody help me! I'm sinking!
Hurry!
Let me just unstrap my baby!
Oh, slipping!
So by now, it's pretty much established that we're dealing with a selfish, morally bankrupt, again, selfish douchebag. You'll think that after everything, he would learn to stay out of Quagmire's business by now, but no, he must keep butting his nose where it is not wanted. Like the time Quagmire opened a cat cafe, and for Brian, that was such a sacrilegious thing to do.
You can't open this place here.
Go to hell, Brian. You don't own this block.
But I'm about to become your worst nightmare.
He wasn't joking about that at all. Brian went about making all sorts of noise that it even made the news.
Brian Griffin has described the cafe.
That's right, Tricia. I'm going to talk a little too loud, so my overall point is lost.
Powerful claims.
You'd think with the way Brian went about this whole thing, the Quagmire had opened a puppy slaughterhouse next door, and in the end, the dog had his wishes granted. He got the cats out of the way.
Brian, I'm glad you're here. The city has decided to shut this establishment down.
You're closing the cafe?
Thanks to you, I'm out of business. Oh, nice top, Stewie.
Until the Board of Health gives the okay, you're done.
But I personally think that nothing is topping the time he pretended to go on a date with a blind girl, but when she shared her one red flag, Brian decided to be a total loser and lie about it.
God, I hate dogs. They're just annoying, needy little bastards. I'm just not really a dog person, I guess.
Yeah, me neither. Dog people can get pretty annoying.
You're saying you're not that much of a dog person? That explains a lot. But there's only so long you can keep a scam like this running for. Eventually, Brian's big secret pops out of the closet and this girl leaves him. But even before it got to that stage, Brian was pulling incel moves like this to score cheap points with her.
Hey, you're in a tough part of town. Now give me your purse, dollface. I don't care how many of you there are, you're not taking this purse. Let's get 'em, boys.
Brian?
I'll handle this. This guy's tough. No fear. He knows karate.
Oh, man. Okay, right now, let's say you're Brian. You just got dumped by a blind girl for lying to her face. What do? Option A, walk away in shame, rethink your life choices, maybe start a therapy blog. Option B, come back pretending to be a completely different guy with a slightly different voice because, hey, she's blind. What's the worst that could happen?
Hey, are you Kate? It's Noah from J-Date.
Oh my God, hi!
When it comes to his relationship with women, he is the absolute worst. Like the time he got a job as a suicide line operator and he had a crush on one of his work colleagues, but rather than ask her out like a normal human being dog person thing, he decided to be a creep and check out her Facebook profile.
Oh, Grandpa's funeral. That's her mom? I can work with this.
A whole lot of sass.
Oh my God! Gross! You scumbag!
And this is why I don't use Facebook anymore. But instead of owning up to the situation and fixing it, Brian sank even lower, like he was trying to bury a bone. Afraid that she was actually going to press charges, Brian decided to think 2 steps ahead and get her arrested first. But boy, was he so wrong, because she was actually ready to accept him as he was, creep and all.
I just wanted to let you know I'm not going to tell anyone about what happened. Maybe we could get that drink tomorrow.
Tell him you have no idea how your hair strands got in that baggie. Hello, officer!
Why, officer?
Found it. Glorious cocaine.
You're gonna have to come with us.
You did this, didn't you? He did this! He planted
that! Only thing I can possibly do is lick it repeatedly.
There we go. That's fixing it.
Oh yes, he's a pretentious twerp. Jerk, man. A total knucklehead McSpazatron. But then, he can't even commit to the bit of being fully terrible with his full chest, so I'll just leave him at bad for now. Married to an irresponsible man who's a danger to literally everyone around him, Lois has practically been doing everything she could to hold the family together all this time. It's a tough act, and every woman has her breaking point, but oh, when Lois breaks, she doesn't just break. She detonates like an emotional nuclear warhead. And you can't exactly blame her either. You have no idea what she goes through and bottles up. Like when Peter was facing allegations for being a racist in the episode A Shot in the Dark. And in an attempt to prove he wasn't racist, his brilliant solution was to march to the town square and paint himself brown.
That's a stupid idea. You're a stupid man! Stupid man!
Ow! Stop it, Lois!
No! I'm so sick of your crap! And why do you always announce them to me before you do them? Is this what you want?
Oh, no, it's not what I want! I'm
Lois can be a psychotic handful, like when she wanted to win Customer of the Week at her favorite coffee shop, and so she crafted an unbeatable strategy to go about it.
Just pour some of these Planters peanuts into Lisa's car, poisoning people with allergies. Okay, I wait for her to get in her car and then save her with this EpiPen. I'll be a lock to be Customer of the Week.
If only all the plans we have in our heads worked out exactly as we imagine them to be. I'd have 50,000 cans of SpaghettiOs on my big, beautiful yacht by now. But no, this is what real life usually looks like.
Shaving cream. Oh, good. Shaving cream.
That last part is an accurate description of an overkill. Didn't end there, though. Lois, realizing that the security cam had captured her putting the peanuts into the car, needed to make sure no one had seen it. And, well, if somebody had already seen it, then she had to take out the trash.
What the hell, Lois?
Put the phone down, Kyle H. I'm a good person. You can give me your absolute trust, or I can get you hooked on heroin. Not having heroin, that's what's bad.
I strongly believe Lois must have been hooked on heroin for this entire thing, because that's the only explanation I can come up with. To clean up her tracks, she also ended up capturing the dude's roommates and tying them up, but there was still one small issue.
Here, drink whatever you think a day's worth of water is.
You can't leave us like this, because I promised my boyfriend that I'd make a meal for his grandmother's meal train. They're gonna know something's wrong.
What are you supposed to make?
Beef Wellington?
Beef Wellington?
This is why a life of crime does not pay, gentlemen. All this extra logistics to account for doesn't seem to be worth it. In the end, Joe pulls up to the house and puts the cuffs on the psycho woman, but Lois still had the part of her that strongly believed she was the hero of the story.
Lois?
I'm just finishing the dishes. I'm a good person, Joe.
Good people do bad things, Lois.
The thing with Lois is that she acts like she's morally superior to the chaos happening around her, but for someone who should know better, she sure enjoys diving headfirst into Peter's nonsense, like when they came up with an activity to spice up their bedroom life.
And God knows we could use a little romance in our marriage.
Just the other night, we did that role-playing. Did you like that game of Mysterious Intruder, Lois?
I don't know who you are, and my name isn't Lois.
Let's do it again.
But then, this same Lois, this same unhinged woman will suddenly do something so heart-melting that you can forget that she's a walking red flag. Like when she helped a boy get cancer treatment because his parents refused, insisting God would handle it. Lois didn't mind breaking the law to get that baby help immediately.
That's exactly what we should do.
The hell are you talking about?
About us going in there and taking that kid and getting him some help, but it's better than just letting him die.
But let's be real. No matter how heroic her act seemed, it was still a crime, and the cops were closing in fast. Yet Lois somehow still held her ground and got the parents to come around. You'd almost swear she was given a sermon instead of a pep talk.
Ben, Hope, I know you don't believe in modern medicine.
That's right.
People of good faith would pray to God for a cure. Well, then isn't it possible that penicillin and antibiotics are all actually answered prayers?
It's good so far, Lois. Try to work a few laughs in there if you can.
I know you want Scotty to live a full life. It's wrong for you to ignore what very well could be the Lord's will. What's the point in praying to God if you're just gonna wipe your butt with his answers?
Amen. But Lois don't stay in angel mode for long. She fluctuates between caring and compassionate, then losing her mind the next minute. In a bottled episode, Lois and the family stayed at an Airbnb for vacation. Everything was smooth, so smooth, she wanted to rebook, only to find out that she was banned because of a stolen shampoo bottle, and Lois went berserk.
I am not wrong here. Taking the ass end of a shampoo bottle barely makes a dent into their hull.
Your mother always describes big things as being smaller than they are.
You stole the shampoo, lady. Just take the L. But you can't, can you? Lois decided to stalk the Airbnb owner, Dottie. Once she discovered that Dottie's kryptonite was DoorDash, Lois became the delivery driver herself, slipping Dottie's order right into her hands without a hitch. But oh no, she was just the warm-up. Now came the fun part, leaving a review. And Lois's feedback came with a side of blackmail and threat.
You know what, Dottie? I did steal that shampoo.
You did?
I was always gonna steal that shampoo, and do you know why? That's what Airbnbs do, Dottie. Also, I opened your locked closet and put on your wedding dress. I ate yogurt in it. Because that's what Lois Griffin does. A secret little psycho with very little to lose. So if you ever think of giving someone a bad review again, remember this. We know where you live.
Like I said, it takes less than a minute for her to switch into full psycho mode. Just like that time some kids stole Stewie's trick-or-treat candy string and Lois marched over to their parents' house to make sure the little menaces learned their lesson.
Now go in your purse, take out $40 and put it in the bag.
I don't have $40.
I'll be back tomorrow for the $80. And I'm taking your welcome mat.
Lois is out here acting like a tax collector for the mafia. That switch up was so wild, I'm convinced she levels up every time she terrorizes someone. Oh, she's bad. She's really bad. But what of the next Quahog resident, who could potentially make her look like a saint? Quagmire is a retired naval officer, and might I add, a really qualified pilot. He's so good at his job that he's stopped hijackers before.
Attention passengers.
But on top of his trip around the world, this guy has kids scattered all across the globe as well. It's very obvious he does not pay a dime for child support, because how do you pay for something you don't even know you have? He just goes about sowing his wild oats without ever calling any of the ladies back to ask some questions. Not like he'd ever run into a room full of them.
Can I help you, sir?
I'm here to pick up my son Peter for a doctor's appointment.
Because you look a lot more like that child over there.
Daddy? Daddy? Papa?
Oh, God!
But children out of wedlock is one of the lighter issues when it comes to Glenn Quagmire. He's literally guilty of going all the way with someone he could be paying tuition fees for.
I'm in high school.
I said you were 23!
And you said you love me.
Did you have with this underage girl?
I really want to take credit.
I'm afraid you're under arrest for statutory.
The fact that he was so proud about this, like some badge of honor, is just crazy to me. In another episode, he finds himself at a mental asylum, yes, a place he actually belongs, but he is not asking the doctors for help that he so desperately needs. No, he had more Quagmire-like questions to ask.
Something I can help you with?
You got any brain-dead women in there you let people have with for a few bucks?
Come on back.
I know it's hard to come back from this, but behind the extreme libido, Quagmire can be good and protective of the people he loves, even though he might go about it in a different way. I mean, he did kill his sister's abusive jerk of a boyfriend, but that guy totally had it coming. But it's also pretty messed up that the sweetest thing he's ever done for his sister involved committing vehicular homicide. But he did something else that was also really kind and sweet. In the episode The Stowaway, Stewie picks up the hobby of hide and seek, which goes terribly wrong when he picks the perfect hiding spot that somehow gets him through airport security.
Oh, that's the spot. Stewie? Mr. Quagmire?
That's one sure way to end up in Paris, the city of love. Quagmire phoned Peter and Lois, but they couldn't fly out to get him, so he had to watch over Stewie. And honestly, he did surprisingly well. Didn't know he had it in him.
Oh, it's late. You must be tired. There you go, little buddy.
We now return. Wow.
Such a cute, adorable little moment, but then because equilibrium must be restored, this same man threw his Quagfest celebration and didn't have the same basic human decency to put a disclaimer saying children should not be anywhere near this event.
My 1,000th conquest, this largemouth bass. Yeah, that's right. I'm weird.
I thought I was here to watch normal intercourse on a residential street. We're leaving.
So many things to unpack. First of all, weird doesn't even begin to describe you, Glenn. Weird is when someone puts on both socks before any shoe. You, on the other hand, are operating on some forbidden frequency of humanity. And did that woman seriously bring her kids to see Quagmire live and in person? Ma'am, are you all right? Because here's the thing. At that Quagfest where Quagmire was celebrating his 1,000th conquest, the little details tell you everything you need to know about why opening a cat cafe is not enough redemption for this man.
All right, these are all of Quagmire's women. There's Brazil, there's Italy, and there's Thailand. Wow, they're young. We should go.
Don't just walk away like that. Pull out your phone, call the police, the FBI, call the Avengers if you have their number. That look of shock on Peter's face should tell you exactly how serious that was. Quagmire is evil. But who's the next resident of Spooner Street that can either top this level of deranged or possibly redeem it? The apple shouldn't fall far from the tree, but in Chris's case, it fell, rolled a bit, then just kind of stopped within arm's reach. The only real things he and Peter share are the malfunctioning brain cells they pass back and forth between each other and the matching pre-installed dad bod. But Chris's heart, oh, that thing is in the right place. In one episode, Meg joined a roller skating derby, and the competition wasn't just tough, they were all out to inflict maximum damage on each other.
You're going like my stepfather's pants!
This is bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so Chris, without wasting any time, jumped in there to help Meg out of there before she was crushed into something flatter than a Waffle House pancake.
What are you doing?
My...
Oh my god!
I'm hurt pretty bad.
He was out here getting hospitalized for Meg. But that's not even the only time Chris put himself on the line to fix things. You know how they say love makes you do crazy things? When Chris fell in love, for a 14-year-old boy, he was ready to do the craziest, most self-sacrificing things for his Mexican girlfriend. When she's deported back to Mexico, Chris agreed to be a temporary stepdad.
Don't worry. I'm gonna call you Juan, and I'm gonna call you too.
Good. He's been reading the book.
How have I never thought of those as twin names? And if they were triplets, I just know Chris would have named them Juan, 2, and Trey. Lois is not on board with their 14-year-old son getting saddled with daddy duties, so they take the babies back to Mexico to return them to Isabella. But that journey drags them all the way into the desert, where they not only have to deal with border patrol, but also fight off coyotes. And Chris, bless that big heart of his, was willing to become coyote food.
Get out of here! You leave them alone! I've been bit, and he got away with my friendship bracelet.
At this point, even Lois had to admit Chris really cared for those kids. He's lazy, he's silly, but his conscience is intact. Except for that one time he kidnapped Stewie and stuffed him inside his backpack. Yeah, that was pretty messed up, especially since Stewie was only trying to help him. See, the Griffin sibling gene curse is a chronic inability to be socially acceptable, so Chris was suffering from the high school caste system. Stewie saw this and took pity on him, following him to school like the literal devil on his shoulder.
Okay, now say.
I heard you were born out of your mom's butt. I heard that from your mom while I was doing her. That's why you've got moles all over your chest. Leftover birth duke.
Harsh, but it gets the job done, so fair's fair. But then Chris decided he didn't just want a one-day free trial of being good at insults, he wanted the full subscription, so he settled for something pretty dark.
I'm running for class president. I need you. You're coming to school with me whether you like it or not.
You can't keep me in here forever. I have too many plans for the future. I'll never be a member of parliament.
Why would you do that to your own brother, Chris? Poor Stewie stayed locked in there for so long, he started writing his own autobiography.
Day 5 of my imprisonment inside Chris's backpack. I think a teacher saw me the other day but said nothing.
Okay, remember, people think I'm smart now.
I'm done. I'm not saying another word. You can't hold me prisoner in here forever.
Name one person who loves you.
Not a proportional response.
Honestly, other than this incident, Chris is a good kid, so he stays at the good tier. But if that's the bar for the middle child, what about the firstborn of Peter and Lois? When you're the one constantly being bullied by everyone around you, it does seem unfair. And sure, maybe it's because you're actually a saint compared to the gremlins you live with and they just can't stand it. You know, that thing people do, hating on what they can't have. Nah, I'm playing. Meg can be just as mean and quietly unhinged as the rest of her family. She developed a crush on a guy, couldn't stop fantasizing about him, practically wrote the wedding vows in her head, but the second it turned out the dude wasn't into her, she went for the most incel idea I have ever had the displeasure of listening to in my whole life.
If Kent hooks up with your brother, you could just have Chris describe every last detail to you.
That's it. I've just got to get Chris to sleep with him.
Just how? How did she think that thought through and still have the guts to go along with it? That is a different breed of sick. People have been canceled for way less. The real problem, though, was when it was clear Chris wasn't going to play along. She marched straight to Quagmire for extra help. That's code word for roofies. And she was going to spike Chris's drink just to make sure her plan went exactly as she wanted it to.
Hi, Mr. Quagmire. I was wondering if I could borrow some roofies?
Just a sec. Pretty big pill for such a little girl.
But I asked someone to do me a favor, and they're not too keen on doing it.
So, how's school?
Oh, good. Thanks.
Seeing anyone special these days?
Obviously, right?
Right. Listen, good luck with everything. Call me if you get arrested.
Thanks.
See why I don't think she's any less guilty than the rest of the people living in that neighborhood? She ended up changing her mind at the end, but still, that plan went way too far. That's not all the insanity she's capable of, trust me. In the episode Trans Fat, Peter, after being mistaken for a trans woman just because he used the trans bathroom at a game, goes searching through the attic looking for a dress to match his newly found identity.
Other guys?
I don't see you getting away with this one.
Good news is you still fit in your wife's wedding gown.
It's actually Meg's. She commits murders in it.
What's this now?
I don't get it. You just casually admitted your daughter's a serial killer with her own villain costume and nobody blinked? Even the cop sitting right there shrugged it off like it was just another random piece of information. You'll think maybe this was said as sarcasm, but then when Peter knocks on Joe's door, their small talk takes a bit of a sinister turn.
What? Kill you!
Woman.
You're letting the bugs in.
Is your daughter still killing people?
She is.
No, seriously, what the hell do you mean is Meg still murdering people? And why are both of you acting like it's normal? And then at the end of the episode, Meg strolls into a bar like she's just clocked out of a draining 9 to 5.
What
a day.
The Bride Killer honestly sounds like a fantastic villain name, but as much as I feel like Meg has big villain energy, let's not forget she's been a victim for all, if not more than half of her life. And when she does lean into the villain side, oh, she becomes someone you do not want to meet in a dark alley. Remember when she went to prison for hiding her fugitive boyfriend? The second she got out, she was an absolute menace. Every single person who ever treated her like doo-doo butter suddenly got a nice tall glass of their own medicine. Megdicin.
Who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
But I believe I hold the distinction of...
My house now. Now who's the funniest?
Have some humility, it'll save your life!
There better be beer in the fridge.
Peter would first have to understand the meaning of the word humility before knowing whether it's something he's capable of or not. Meg seems to always get herself into a lot of legal trouble because of one thing or another. So much so that in the episode And Then There's Fraud, the entire family had to keep her on full 24-hour surveillance.
Up there's Meg. She's wandering outside.
Meg, come back inside.
She should be in her room thinking about what she did.
What did she do this time? No idea. But whatever it was, it must have been bad, because at the end of the episode, she pulls a straight-up teabag move like she's in Prison Break. Please tell me you caught the reference. Teabag cutting his own hand off to escape the cops, guys?
Guys, I just found Meg's ankle bracelet. Her foot's still in it.
I don't care what she did, that was badass. 1,000 aura instantly. I'm ranking her an anti-hero. Up next is the walking, talking embodiment of everything wrong with capitalism. I've never met a billionaire who was good, so I'm pretty tempted to just throw Carter right into evil tier. But hey, let's pretend to give him a fair hearing. All right, in one episode, Brian overhears that Carter has cancer and is dying. The next day, Carter is suddenly alive, upright, doing just fine, completely cured. Oh great, someone cloned the old man. I mean, that could actually have been the case, but after breaking into the Peter Schmidt's secret lab, Brian found the truth about Big Pharma, or in this case, Carter.
You've discovered the holy grail of modern medicine. Why the hell would you keep it buried like this?
Because there's far more money to be made in treating a disease than in curing it. Why cure someone of cancer in a day if bill them every step along the way?
That's insane!
Everybody, meet capitalism's final boss. Now hold on, in case you didn't understand just how insanely evil that plan is. Carter is totally okay with letting millions, and I do mean millions, die from cancer just so he could add a few more zeros to his account. At this point, it's no longer a debate whether he belongs in the evil tier or not. His fate is sealed. But just in case you still had doubts, how about this next case? Carter started a revolution to overthrow the government, claiming it was corrupt and destroying the average worker. Sounds noble, right? Like he's about to lead an uprising for the working class.
The government wants to tell you what foods to eat. And what church you can go to. And that you can't own a chimpanzee because you're not responsible enough. Also, the government wants to tell you how many children you can have.
No! Can we get Herbert out of here, please? Back to Carter, he somehow got a whole crowd behind him to oppose the government, and even Peter was out there supporting it like he understood a single detail. But most folks could see Carter's true motives as clear as day, like spotting a fake logo on a designer bag.
Carter Pewterschmidt, an industrialist with oil refineries in this city, is on your side to get rid of environmental regulations for you.
Carter wants to get rid of the whole city government of Quahog.
Peter, if I know my dad, he's probably using you.
So that you can hang out and chime in on this.
Actually, Peter, I haven't done the dishes.
Well, then I'm confused.
That was so the most insane of ways. Seriously, how does Peter get away with this stuff every single time? Speaking of getaways, Carter somehow pulled it off as well. He toppled the government like it was a stack of cheap IKEA furniture, and wow, the city looked glorious.
What is that?
The Pewterschmidt Industries refinery. It's a giant cloud of pollution.
If that gets past the bad neighborhoods and reaches us, that's gonna be a big problem.
We should report them.
There's no government.
The people to find a solution.
Yep, never had faith in a billionaire. Case closed. Evil. Since we're already talking about business owners, let's swing to the complete opposite end of the success spectrum. Despite running a pharmacy in town, as far as we've ever seen, Mort Goldman somehow manages to operate like he's on the verge of bankruptcy. Now, he's no saint, but compared to the rest of the Quahog residents, who all behave like escaped asylum patients, his slate looks squeaky clean. His one real brush with the dark side of the law wasn't even his fault. Peter and the guys noticed his pharmacy was struggling and decided to help, and by help, I mean they detonated whatever scrap of stability Mort had left by flying his banner.
You'll never take me alive!
Aren't you gonna run?
I don't want my gym teacher to laugh at me. He's been following me around since junior high.
Watch this Jewish kid run.
His reputation was totally gone after that. I guess that's what you get when you get help from the likes of Peter. To save himself by any means possible, Mort decided to pull out the only card left in his wallet, because when in doubt, commit insurance fraud.
Let's get to work. We did it!
Look, the man was desperate, and honestly, I get it. So I'm willing to cut him some slack and place him safely in the good tier. And now moving on to the next resident. Can't really call Mayor Adam West good or bad, because most of the time he was simply deranged in a deeply stupid way. But who am I to try to understand the mind of a person who's clearly intellectually challenged? Like the time his pizza order got mixed up and instead of leaving a 1-star rating, he went about it in a whole different way.
This misdeed cannot go unpunished. Prepare to meet your maker at the hands of my cat launcher.
You know, if he called it a catapult, it would have been 10 times funnier. But remember, I did say he was deranged, which means his type of humor was just as twisted as well.
Damn, I lost him. Back in the bag. Come on, Fluffy. What a ridiculous name. Paul! That's a person's name. Oh, Paul.
As mayor, though, he definitely leaned corrupt. Like the time he took bribes to let companies dump chemical waste into the river. The river got so toxic, it practically started granting miracles.
How long can you hold your breath underwater?
Longer than you!
It was so bad that Lois led a campaign to become the new mayor, but when she couldn't keep up with the office and the corruption that came with it, she stepped down and handed it back to the person who knew how to play the dirty game of politics so well.
You better play ball.
I'll play ball.
You can have your job back.
Hooray!
Don't we need to have a whole new election?
Now, no one will have heard him say that.
Point-blank, cold-blooded murder in broad daylight, and no one said a thing.
We all heard him say it. My wife did.
You know what? I apologize for trying to make a case for this man on the grounds of him being mentally unstable and all. This is straight up evil. Now, what other resident could possibly top that? Bonnie might seem soft-spoken and patient, but don't let that act fool you. Let's start with the obvious. For her, being married to Joe is the worst punishment ever.
You care about nothing except yourself.
I got a license to operate a crane for you.
I'm not an impressionist, but you get the idea.
I find it cleanses the immeasurable sadness of having lain with a wretch. You got it!
Good gracious, that was brutal. But she does way worse than this. In the episode The Heartbreak Dog, it was Bonnie's birthday. And while everyone had shown up to celebrate her, she snuck back into her room to cry about her miserable life. Brian showed up to offer a listening ear, amongst other things.
When I was young, I had so many things I wanted to do with my life. I'm 46, and all I've ever done is take care of Joe.
I know just how you feel. You're a good girl. You're gonna be okay. I didn't mean...
No, it's okay.
I still can't get used to how these ladies find it so easy to make out with a dog. Now, when the kiss with Brian happened, there was all the chance in the world to have fixed the issue, but no. The moment the news got out and everyone was chipping in on how to resolve the issue, she and Brian had other plans.
For years, she gave up her own dreams. And yeah, maybe she kissed me because she feels so trapped in her marriage.
No one ever takes the time to ask how I feel.
They don't get us, Bonnie. You know what? Let's get out of here.
There was no hesitation whatsoever. Sheesh, the woman hadn't even packed her bags. All that mattered was absconding with the man she cheated on her husband with. It wasn't even a man, for crying out loud, it was a dog. And this is still not even the worst thing she's done. In the episode Joe is walking on air, Joe got himself a new pair of legs and the power rush hit him harder than 4 cans of Monster on an empty stomach. With his new feet, he was quite ready to do what was physically impossible for him to do before.
I realized over the last few days, I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
We've been friends for years.
We all make mistakes. Let's go exercise!
I'm gonna do sit-ups till I crap myself.
He walked out of their lives. I wonder how long he waited to do that. But his friends weren't the only ones who got tossed aside. Poor, helpless, eternally suffering Bonnie got kicked to the curb as well.
Joe, please.
There's nothing to talk about. I need to spread my legs and fly.
But shouldn't she have been happy that she was finally free? After all the sighing, groaning, and Olympic-level complaining she did about taking care of Joe, you'd expect her to throw a parade. But nope, she probably wanted to do the walking out herself. And because heaven hath no hell like a woman scorned or something like that, Bonnie decided to get her husband back by any means necessary.
Bonnie!
Not until I have my husband back!
My perfect ass!
I was aiming for your spine.
Damn it! I'll do it myself!
This woman has made it unmistakably clear multiple times that she genuinely wants Joe dead. Not metaphorically, I mean dead.
I think next time you should bring someone else.
My guy, that woman is so bad for you. Get out of there if you really do value your life, man. Bonnie gets thrown into the bad tier. And that's a wrap, guys. But if you want to see something way crazier than this, then click the video on your screen right about now. And as always, thank you for watching.